Hello everyone, in this video we're going to set up the systems so we can use them in our ingest workflows. If we go over the Configurations tab and click on Systems, we'll find three types of system configurations. The first one is Storage Systems. This is where we define the storage system we're going to write media to. The second one is Metadata Systems. This is where we define the system we're going to write metadata to. The third one is Output Systems, which is the combination of a storage system and a metadata system. This is actually what we use when creating an ingest workflow. Let's see how it's done. Starting with the storage system. As you can see, we already have a few options for the administrator to choose from. All these storage systems are here because they already have tight integration with Gluecast Media Producer. Let's begin with Avid ISIS Nexus. To add a system, you right-click and select Add System. You can now type a system name to identify it. You're going to have to know the name of the system directory though. This is the name of the system directory where the workspaces are hosted. And this name is case sensitive. Mine is already set up, as you can see. Once you added the system, you can now select the workspace folder you're going to write to. If you want to add workspaces, you simply right-click on your system and select Add Workspace. It will show you all the workspaces mounted on your system. I only have one here. Moving over to Avid Media Network. The setup is very similar and pretty straightforward as well. You type in a system name to identify it, and in this case, you need to know the file manager's name to continue. If you want to add a matrix store system, you right-click it, select Add System. Again, type in a system name to identify it, and now you're going to have to type in the node addresses separated by commas and cluster ID. You also have the option to load this information from Vault File. If you want to add a Spectra Black Pro system, same way, you right-click on it, select Add System, type in a system name to identify it, and now you have to fill out the data path address and the port number. You can also check the SSL option. Type in the access ID and secret key. The last one is generic storage, which can be any type of storage your system has access to. You can right-click it, select Add Storage, type in a system name to identify it. You can type in or browse to the storage location. I'm gonna browse and create a new folder named Copy. I'm gonna select it. Under Options, you can use Avid Folder Rotation, and it's gonna write your media like if it were an Avid storage system with Avid Media folders. And there's Replicate Interplay Folder Structure. This is a very important option to use when parking media with Media Parker, for example, when you need to preserve all the file structure to write media and metadata together. I'm going to create a very simple one here, so I will select None, and I'll hit Apply. Moving now to the metadata systems. The very first one is Avid Media Central Production Management, Avid PAM. If you want to add an Avid PAM system, for example, you right-click it and select Add System. I'm going to use my Interplay system as example here. System name I put Interplay. Web Services host name is the local host of the server. Web Services port number we use 9090. My workgroup name here is Avid Demo 1. I had to type in my username and password. After you set up the PAM system, you can choose the folders you want to write to. You can do so by right-clicking on your new system and selecting Add Folder. It will give you a few options. Interplay Check-in folder, which is a regular check-in folder in Interplay. Same as Source Interplay folder. This is used with some media services products for jobs triggered inside Interplay. For instance, if you create a folder to do a partial restore of a sequence, you have a proxy sequence, and after the partial restore, it's gonna check in the pieces of high-resolution media on the same asset. And then we have Same as Matrix Store folder structure, which replicates the Matrix Store folder structure inside Interplay, for disaster recovery, for example. If you click on this button right here, you can browse to the desired folder. You can also create subfolders. Next is Avid Media Central Asset Management, Avid MAM. The same way, if you right-click on it, select Add System, you can now type in all the credentials to connect to Avid's MAM. Then we have the Arvado MAM. The same way, right-click on it, Add System. Then we have AAF Export. Right-click, Add System. This is used when you don't have Media Central, for example. You can now export AAF to a generic folder. In my case here, I'm gonna select the same copy folder I'm sending media to. You have the option to replicate in a play folder structure if you're gonna use it to park media, for example. I'm gonna select None. You also have the option to write PMR files to it. I'll hit Apply, and here it is. XML export is very similar to AAF export, but here you have the option to load an XSLT file to translate that XML. Then we have JSON export, which is very similar to AAF and XML exports. Next, we have Object Matrix Interconnect, if you want to check in a resolution as if it was created by the interconnect from Object Matrix. Object Matrix Matrix Store Vision web client is also very specific. It is used when Media Transformer creates the proxy resolution for the Vision web client. And finally, we have the option to global losses. Once I defined my storage system and my metadata system, I can now create an output system, the one I'll use on my ingest workflow. I'll right-click on it, select Add System. I'll give it a name, select the metadata output system I want to use, and also the media output system I want to use. I'll hit Apply. And that's it, my new output system. Thank you so much for watching. See you next time.